and it'll show you how much confidence that I have when I take a hump like this. I mean, the amount of comfort. What's up YouTube? Welcome back to my complete review of the Interceptor 650. So in this video I'm going to talk about the entire experience that I had on this motorcycle. So I'm inside a reserve forest, so I'm not supposed to stop anywhere, so just stopped to start my intro. So we'll be rolling and we'll be talking about this motorcycle. So before that, I'll just give an impression that how you will feel after just getting onto this motorcycle. So with my height, it's not an issue to plant your foot on both sides, but the only thing is when you sit at the nearest part of the seat towards the tank, what happens is like this foot peg is too much interfering to your leg. So it is an issue. Somebody asked me, so I have to tell that it is an issue. But if you're slightly taller than me, then you can have your foot a little bit more wider so that you can comfortably sit. So the riding posture is absolutely fine. I mean, it's upright, it is very much relaxed. You see no pressure onto the hands. You are slightly leaning towards the handle just to grab the handle, otherwise there is no sportiness associated with this. GT is most sporty. I hope you have seen my entire review on the GT, so let's keep it rolling. Wow, the exhaust is actually very nice. It sounds pretty good. So let's talk about the power delivery. You can see that it's not something which is too much of power, thinking from a 650 point of view. This is like very linear. The power delivery is very linear. It doesn't intimidate you at all. But if you ask me if it's a beginner friendly bike, I'll tell that from the engine side it is not at all a problem. Like the power is very practical to use, but the weight of this motorcycle is the one thing which I keep the entire motorcycle away from beginners. So but if you can handle the weight and handle the power, then it's a beginner friendly motorcycle. I'll just show the power delivery. It has a very good mid-range, so it pulls you like anything, and it has a cruise speed of around 90 to 110 km per hour. In my GT video that I've told that a GT has a cruise speed of 90 to 120, I take off the 10 km per hour because this has a more upright riding kind of riding posture. So I mean, you'll get a lot of wind blast, so that's the reason why I took out a 10 km. It's not that I took it out, this is what I felt. And if you're wondering where I am, this is actually Gudalur, which is a place in South India, and I just came for a quick tour, and basically I toured to make reviews. So yes, the total build quality on this motorcycle is like amazing, I have to say that. And one thing I hate to say about any motorcycle is that one motorcycle looking like another motorcycle, like someone saying that okay, I modified my motorcycle to look like a multi-star. I just hate people saying that. Actually, in my mind, every motorcycle has its own way of appealing to those, and you shouldn't modify it. But in this case, I have to tell that this motorcycle actually looks way similar to the Triumph Street Twin, and that too they have done in a very nice manner. If you don't see the Royal Enfield emblem on this, you might probably get confused with this Street Twin, and they haven't done anything bad. The build quality is like absolutely good on this motorcycle. I don't see any kind of rust on the exhaust pipe or on the pipes or on the tank and all. So totally I have a very good feel that this motorcycle has a very good build quality. But the only one thing which I found is that there are some exposed wires here and there. So if that could have been hidden, or if it could have been taped well, then it would have been nice. That's all. And the suspension of this motorcycle is onto a softer side, so it gives you a much comfortable ride during the city. And cornering wise, it's not a great machine because of two reasons. One thing, the suspension is soft. Second thing, the Pirelli on this motorcycle is not so good at corners, man. I mean, I am slightly disappointed. I thought that all Pirellis are good, but at least this Pirelli is not as good as other Pirellis that I've seen on many other motorcycles. Cornering is kind of an okay, and plus yeah, it's heavy, so that's one reason you cannot dip it into the corners like anything. And the brake setup is actually good. The braking feel and the braking bite is good. It is able to stop this motorcycle in no time, and the ABS works like pretty seamlessly. I didn't had an issue. One time I applied brakes a little bit hard, and it didn't feel that the ABS actually kicked in, but I could feel that yeah, because of my calculated distance, I could feel that it has gone a little bit ahead and the ABS has kicked in. Apart from that, the braking is simply amazing, and the road presence of this motorcycle is I mean, out of the way, man. It gives a nice that sound, and it looks so cool. what I'll tell that you will get what you're paying for. Definitely. I have an update on the seat. Actually, this is unlike any other Royal Enfield seat. The seat is lengthy but not wide, so it's kind of an okay. I didn't like it to the point that on a longer run, on a tour, it is kind of okay. I would have liked it to be a little more wider seat. And if you want to know anything more about the touring aspect of this motorcycle, you can see that in my touring video. I'll be doing that. And heating issues, yeah, I took it to very bad traffic. Still, it didn't give me so much of heat. It not to an extent which where it will fry my legs. Pillion comfort is kind of okay. Since, as I told, the seat is long and not wide, the pillion also feel the same thing. And since the seat is actually long, the pillion is not feeling a right amount of connectivity with the rider, which actually I expect from a touring point of view. You should have a very good connection with your pillion when you are going for tours. So that is not happening with this motorcycle. It's not a downside, but I'm just telling. So let's talk about the clutch. So this is the third 650 that I'm riding after my test ride, okay. So the GT which I rode last week, which I rode it for 1200 kilometers, and before that also I had ridden one Interceptor, but short ride, and this one I'm riding it for 600 kilometers. I need to tell that this clutch is tight, man. Definitely this is tight. It gives you some pain when you use it in city for a longer time. If you have too much of shift, yes, then it's going to be a problem. I expected a lighter clutch, man, but I don't know why Royal Enfield is making the clutch tight for every vehicle. I thought first it is only the test ride vehicle, but no. And to talk about the gearbox, I have a okay feel about the gearbox because the shifts are good. It is very nice. It is not so crisp, but it is still good. But only one thing is, like, sometimes I get a false neutral. It's not just me. I thought it is my problem. My way of shifting is bad or something. And I discussed the same thing with my friend, and my friend also told that the bike is giving some false neutral at some point. So in that point of view, I feel the gearbox is kind of okay. Don't know the reason, but I'm just putting my observation before you. That's all. And if you look at it, ground clearance is kind of okay, but not the best. And another one thing is the double-sided exhaust. You need to be very careful with that, because if you try to be very much near to the road dividers and all, then there is a high chance that the silencer will go and touch the divider. And one more thing is, like, the pillion foot peg, actually it's slightly raised, and the pillion will tend to keep the heel on the exhaust, so it's not a good thing. So what I feel is that it will eventually fry off or melt off the pillion's shoe. So the turning radius of the motorcycle is not so bad, keeping it to the mind that it's a heavy motorcycle. The turning radius is not so bad. I could easily take it in here. If it is a case that you have to turn it and then has to take it back, then you should have good grips on your boots or shoe, whatever. With chappal, I had a very terrible time because my chappal was not having grip because it's heavy. That's all. To talk about the wind blast, yeah, I'll get the wind blast from a speed of around 100 km per hour, and bike actually will really pull still 140 km per hour, no problem with it. And after that 140 to 160, you have a kind of stability issue. It's not because of the bike, the tire is not good, it's not holding up with the speed. Enfield could have given a better tire for this one. That's my personal feel, because when you have a potential in your bike which can go to 170, you should give a tire which eventually give a confidence at least till 160 kmph. And the instrument cluster, man, I mean, I'm not a fan of this one. It has very basic stuff. The fuel meter, which is like not at all giving a good reading all the time. It shows some random value, not show. And it comes with 2 trip meters and 1 odometer, and the speedometer and the tachometer. That's all. Very basic thing. The service cost is around 3,000 to 4,000 rupees. That's what I heard from Enfield showroom, and you do the service once in 6,000 kilometers. Altogether, it's a good deal, and the mileage that you can expect out of this motorcycle is somewhere from 20 to 22 in city, 25 on highways. And I was getting actually a good mileage yesterday. The reason is because I was riding with Himalayan, so I'm very gentle with my throttle. I wasn't riding harsh, so that's the reason why I almost got 28, it seems. You can check my mileage review if you want to see that exact details of how much kilometer ran and how much petrol it drank. And as I told, it comes with Pirelli tires, which is okay-ish with the kind of weight this has. But yes, this motorcycle deserves a better rubber. And there is no vibrations as such. Like, I was using it for the past 400 kilometers by now in a day time, and no vibrations, no discomforts. It is like ultimately smooth. It is unlike any other Royal Enfield motorcycle, okay? And don't hate me in saying that, because if you push other Royal Enfield motorcycle beyond 110 or 120, I mean, you get enormous amount of vibration over the handlebar, the mirrors, the seat, everywhere. But this is like ultra smooth. So let's roll for some time, and I will tell you which all people have to look onto this motorcycle, or do you need to look at the GT650. The GT will give a more committed riding posture on this engine, and the good thing is that on that motorcycle you can actually extract the entire potential of this motorcycle by riding like this, and it gives you a more commanding riding posture, man, on the GT. Okay, this one I'm not telling it is bad, this is good actually. If you're slightly towards the fatter side, then this motorcycle is good, but if you are lean and you can handle the weight of this motorcycle, GT is always a good option. That extra 15,000 that you pay will pay you some amount of fun, no doubt on that. To overtake on this motorcycle is like beautiful. I mean, lorries on the highways are like, you can just say goodbye to any lorry and you can overtake. And it'll show you how much confidence that I have when I take a hump like this. I mean, the amount of comfort. The suspension actually handles it in a good way. But if you are on a higher speed, then with the kind of heaviness this motorcycle has, it will give you some amount of trouble, like going out of control. That's all. I completely relied on engine braking and the front brake. I haven't touched my rear brake. You saw that. It has a good amount of bite over the brake. Oh dear, dear. Oh man, that's a good sign. I think there are a few more to go. I don't want to make them scared. So that's it with this video of the Interceptor 650. Hope you liked it. I have many other videos planned for it, like the touring video, the Q&A, the mileage review, and a few others also. So if you have any doubts on this motorcycle, feel free to write a comment in the comment box. And if you enjoyed the video, you know what to do. As always, show some love in the form of likes and comments. See you in the next video. Until then, bye bye.